Hello, and welcome to the Mindset Bloomcast with Mallory. I am your host, Mallory McGary. I am the founder and CEO of Beautifully Blooming. You can find me at Mallory at beautifullyblooming.com or at beautifullyblooming.com or on Instagram under Mallory McGary. You are listening to the WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, radio, TV, and podcasts, the number one internet talk network. Welcome to today's show. I'm really excited about this show today. This has been something that has been going through kind of some framework stages with all of us as I've done all of the past episodes and gotten into creating this amazing show and creating content for all of you and content for Instagram and my blog and everything that goes around with it, along with my business, as this is an extension of that. But today, everything kind of fell into perfect placement for today's episode. We are talking about becoming your own leading lady. And where this stemmed from was, if you've ever seen The Holiday, there's one little snippet in there and it kind of gets brushed over a little bit, I think, until you kind of have seen the movie a couple of times. But Kate Winslet is having a conversation with another character in over dinner, and she says that you need to be the leading lady of your own life. And I don't think it really hit me probably until a couple of weeks ago, as I've been trying to balance motherhood and working entrepreneurship and working and finding that balance along with all of the other roles I play in my life, like every other woman, right? You play the role of a chef, a chauffeur, an activities director, um, like a house cleaner. You've got to manage all of your household things, along with being a working mom. On this, on the other hand, you've got job responsibilities, you have tasks you have to get done, and things like that. And balancing is hard. Also, for a stay-at-home mom, I have the benefit of working from home. So sometimes I step into more of a mom role than I do the CEO role of my business, where we're going from place to place. We're trying to fit in doctor's appointments and activities and extracurriculars if you have older children. And especially in the summer where it's so many things happening and not everything is consistently at the same time, or your timing is always off. There's something that maybe you want to be doing, uh, and you can't because you're at a job or you've got to take care of something else, where things overlap and you just are more burnt out a little bit, is what I've come to notice out of myself and friends of mine and some of my clients, is that at the summer point, by now, kids have been out of school for about 6 weeks, and you're halfway there to the end of summer and school starting all over again. And what happens is you're feeling the burnout. What more do you do with your kids at home and trying to balance all of these things um, in your life that you've got to juggle? Maybe you have other things and stressors on your plate as well. Of maybe you've got some financial issues, maybe you've got some emotional things you're working through, maybe you're trying to figure out a balance with your significant other as well, and what that looks like along with your family. And things are just, I have felt like in the last couple of months, things have not kind of aligned in my perfect space. Those planets didn't align exactly the way I wanted them to. And it has led me to build out um, a new type of framework of my business that will help do just this, becoming your own leading lady. So I want you to think for a minute. This is my story. This is where I kind of go for a lot of different things. Is I am a very pop culture person. I really like movies, so I relate a lot of things to different scenes in movies. And so we're going to start off with Mulan a little bit. This is kind of where my mind went as I was building out this framework in that Mulan started out as growing up as this little girl and growing up into a society that was telling her she had to do all of these things to be one way and to fit in and to do her job and do all of the things that fit into all of these roles. And as you watch her go through the movie, you know that those are just not her things. Even in the beginning, she's trying to remember notes by writing them on her arm for the matchmaker. She's wasn't really doing all of the things that would allow her to be what, I guess, the matchmaker is probably the best way to put it, or her society was deeming her and telling her she should be. So when she goes to meet the matchmaker, she ends up not passing. I don't know really the best way to put how that works. And this is just the way my mind has translated it and related it to my life. But she kind of failed at the matchmakers. She didn't walk out with a perfect match or becoming that, having that stamp of being a perfect bride, being the woman that would be the perfect person for somebody else in that. And kind of upset her a little bit. She ended up not wanting, feeling like she failed her dad, feeling like she failed her mom, not really knowing where she fit in her own world, in her own space, because now everything that she was supposed to do has been kind of ripped away from her a little bit. And then fast forward a little bit, her dad gets transcripted into the army. She takes his place. And now she's taking a whole different path. She's trying to fit into a mold a world she doesn't understand, a world that is completely new to her. She doesn't know how to fit in that world. She has to do some work, right? She has to become that fighter that she needed to be and allow that to come out of her and step into that as she's going through this in this spot that she doesn't necessarily know how to handle. And then going through having this whole finally feeling like she fits in and she's right there. She's done everything that she can to get to where she's at and feels like she's comfortable and she finally fits in. She has friends. She's got people that really have her back, and she gets injured and then she gets found out, and all of that gets ripped away from her again, of her friends, her what she felt comfortable in, what she'd worked toward. So she essentially starts all over again. And then she ends up stepping into finding that both worlds can meld together, that she can be this strong, fierce fighter that she trained to be, but that was probably in her somewhere. And then she can also be this woman that she was grown up to be in, what was it expected of her, and that the two worlds can meld together, and that she can be perfectly perfect in the middle of those, and finally at the end steps into that authenticity and feeling like she hasn't let anybody down. She presents the sword and all the things to her dad, to rebuild that trust with him, but he never really lost that with her. As the movie continues, the end, he never really lost that for her. He was really grateful and really proud of her, which allowed her to actually step into the feelings of being proud of herself. And so that's kind of a quick overview of a story, but it led into exactly that. She's had to step up into being that leading lady in her life. She was trying to play roles of what society wanted her to play. And she was trying to fit into a world that she didn't really understand, didn't really want to fit into, but felt forced to go into for protection of her family. And in some way, that's just like us, is that we get absorbed into those roles. We start out as one individual, and then you become a, a wife, a partner, a significant other in somebody else's life, and it's easy to absorb yourself into that role. It's easy to say, I'm going to take a step back from who I am, and now my goal is to make sure that you're happy, that you have the support you need emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, whatever that looks like, and that you are taken care of. My goal is to take care of you. My goal is to make sure that everything in your life is okay. I want to be that rock for you. And it's easy to lose ourselves in that role and absorb into this role of being the caretaker for somebody else. Then add children into that mix. You take a further step back from yourself because now you have an additional person, people that you are also trying to take care of and trying to develop and grow and help them become the best people possible, reach their own potential, give them all the tools that they need to go out into the world and become contributing humans and kind people and just the people that you want them to be. You're developing that. And it takes an extra step back as well of we're not taking care of ourselves because now we've got two layers that we're taking care of before we take care of ourselves. And working parents, that's another added plate of you've got to step into different roles of whatever your job and title entails or your job requirements are. Maybe you have to travel. Maybe you have really random hours because we're working with different parts of the world and you've got to fit into their time frames a little bit. Maybe you're one that is an entrepreneur and you're running the show and you have to do a lot of things on your plate. And that's what I experience is being um, trying to run so many different things, feeling like I don't have the bandwidth for that all the time, and feeling like I don't have all the bandwidth to give to my family at the same time. And with two low bandwidths, I also don't have the bandwidth or the energy to give to myself. So as I've kind of gone through this process of feeling deflated over the last couple months, feeling like I was failing in every possible area of my life, that I couldn't really ever get ahead. I couldn't ever really just feel confident in one space or in who I was. I had to take a couple steps back and to be able to take a lot more steps forward. And this journey and this idea has allowed me to, and this feelings have allowed me to grow into this person that I am right now and feeling a lot better, a lot more open, a lot more vulnerable, a lot more passionate, a lot more willing to put myself out there, be that leading lady that I wanted to be. I had been so absorbed into so many roles that I play that I totally forgot that I was a person. This was the start of my business journey, that I was trying to fit into a bunch of different worlds. I didn't understand. I didn't know. I didn't really feel comfortable there, but I wanted to fit somewhere. So I tried in a lot of different places and didn't feel good in any of those places. And it made me go back and think, okay, what am I missing? Where am I missing from these places that I'm trying to go? What am I wanting to gain out of this? And what I wanted to gain was a community that was in the same place I was, that was trying to go for the same goals I was trying to go to. I've heard that, and I can't remember who said it, but you're the sum of the five people that you spend the most time with. And if I'm trying to elevate myself, I want to hang out with people and be around people that are going to help elevate me or be in those places that I wanted to be. And trying to find that and really define what that looked like for me took a little bit. And it ended up in the long run of me creating my own table, creating my own community that serves that purpose, that allows anybody to come in and to feel like they are in that like-minded community, that they are gaining that person, a person in their five that is going to help push them to the next level for what that looks like. And for the community, that's what I was searching for. That was step one of finding who I was to be my own leading lady, is finding this community, finding what was missing, and then ending up creating it in my programs, in my business, in my community itself. There, that's the community I fostered. That's the community I wanted to have. And now I have clients and women giving that back to me. I'm filling up my cup that way. So that was step number one. And number two was finding, really narrowing down kind of my own origin story of what things I had gone through in my life, what led me to be on this journey, what pain points did I experience, what how did I overcome them, what helped me overcome those. And that created, that's those two steps created my business, created this amazing spot that I sit in as a business owner, that I have gone through pain points that my clients are looking for. I am a mom of two. I am trying to run a business. They're little. You've seen my little guy here a couple of times, but they're little. So I'm trying to balance toddlerhood and parenting, that with running a business and being able to create that time block schedule. I'm also trying to balance a work schedule of a 9 to 5 job with being a mom and an entrepreneur. So there's a lot of different things that I'm experiencing in my life that my clients are searching for as well, and trying to elevate into the next level. So owning my story, owning who I am, allowed me to step into this business as authentically as possible and as transparent as possible. I'm I try to be as open and transparent as possible, and answer questions or dig into topics and explain myself as best that I can, and from my point of view, and in full transparency that I'm a real person. I have real struggles. It's not perfect all the time. What you see on my Instagram isn't necessarily the highlights of they're the highlights of my life. They're not, you don't see the lowlights of what you think you see behind the scenes. So that's kind of, but owning my story and allowing that to be a part of me and grow into that has allowed me to be more of a leading lady, because I'm not trying to stay in this place where I feel uncomfortable. I'm stepping into this place that I'm confident in, and I'm able to share my story with anybody around. And I don't feel weird about that. I'm a very open book, so if you have questions, let me know. But that's kind of the steps that I took, is owning my story, owning who I am, helps me allow me to be comfortable in my own skin. Sure, is it changing? Yes. Is my body changing from having kids? Yes. Am I still trying to grow and maybe eat healthier and get in my exercise and everything that like that? Yes. I'm still learning, I'm still growing, I'm on a good path. But that's all a part of being authentic and being my transparent self. I'm not the best at it. It's a work in progress, but I am comfortable in my own skin. I am comfortable in who I am and my personality, and have accepted that, and know that by owning all of that part of me, I'm more of a leading lady, because I know the things that are going to set me off, enhance my heart, enhance my spirit, and anything like that going forward. So stepping into that leading lady role. Next, I would say the next step I took to be a leading lady was getting rid of my inner critic. I'm not going to say it's completely got rid of, because that would be not a full truth. And in transparency, it's still there. I've just turned the volume down, I guess, and I've been better at choosing what I'm listening to and what not I'm listening to. I actually started this journey along with from a book that I read. It's called Soundtracks by John Acuff, and it's helped rewire a lot of things that I thought about myself helped kind of rewire that inner critic of mine. And as I've kind of gone throughout the last couple of months, is seeing that when I say something negative, it's usually happens to be when my kids are around. And it's not the what I want to portray to them is that they like I don't want them to talk that way. So why am I talking that way? So I've kind of had to flip the script in that is a conscious effort at the moment. It's a starting a process in being aware of what I say when I say it and how I say it has been kind of all life transforming in the last maybe month or two of knowing that if I wouldn't want to hear my kids talk about that themselves that way, then why would I want to hear myself talk about myself that way? And wanting to really boost up that energy into myself and give that positive energy in the world. I don't want to have that negativity sitting in my life and weighing me down. So the top three things that I've done to as of now to start stepping into my leading lady as I've gone through this journey is creating my own table, sitting in that community that I was searching for and creating that community that I was searching for, knowing exactly what that is, owning my story, owning who I am and what that is so that I am comfortable and confident in who I am, knowing that I'm changing, knowing that I'm growing, knowing that I am stepping into a life with a whole different mindset is going to take a little bit of time. But I know that I am comfortable in here and I'm okay owning that story has helped me allow to step into that role as well. And then being able to turn down my inner critic, turn down those constant playing soundtracks, as John Acuff calls them in his book, as those same constant thoughts of, well, you can't ever wear that because it will never look good on you, or whatever those same patterns, like that idea is never good enough. Any idea you have isn't good, so don't do it. Whatever that looks like in your life, those soundtracks, turning them down, changing them, rewiring them, whatever that looks like. We're going to cut to a quick commercial break, but we're going to come back and then talk about how using those three things you can step into your actual leading lady and becoming your own leading lady. So you are listening to the Mindset Bloomcast with Mallory. I am your host, Mallory McGary. I am the founder and CEO of Beautifully Blooming. You can find me at Mallory at beautifullyblooming.com or at beautifullyblooming.com or on Instagram at Mallory McGary. You are listening to the WGSN-DB Going Solo Network radio, TV, and podcasts, the #1 internet talk network. And we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Mindset Bloomcast with Mallory. I am your host, Mallory McGary. I am the founder and CEO of Beautifully Blooming. You can find me at Mallory at beautifullyblooming.com, beautifullyblooming.com, or on Instagram at Mallory McGary. You are listening to the WGSN-DB Going Solo Network radio, TV, and podcast, the #1 internet talk network. Welcome back to the last part of our show today. We are talking about becoming your own leading lady. So, quick recap of what we talked about in the first half of this episode is that we created our own table of community, creating the community that we were searching for, owning our own stories, owning our ideas, ourselves, everything that has created us up into this point, into the person that we are. We've owned that. We're owning that origin story and defining our life with that. And then turning down those negative thoughts, that inner critic, or rewiring those soundtracks that are changing, um, that make you think negative things about yourself, that are the first steps of jumping into your leading lady. So now we're going to talk about what a leading lady looks like. So a leading lady, to me, if you think about leading lady, you're thinking, what comes to my mind is Hollywood, early Hollywood, like the Audrey Hepburns, the Rita Hayworths, the Grace Kellys, the Marilyn Monroes, um, that really just stood out for their time. They're kind of those glamorous, um, glamorous stars. They always look beautiful. They're always just the people you want to be. I mean, I have had plenty of Audrey Hepburn photos and things hanging in my house, in my rooms and everything like that, as just an aspiration of somewhere where I wanted to be. And people that those people that you admire that just are so glamorous, that I'm kind of so far removed from where we're at right now that their life just seemed a lot more glamorous than it might have been if we dug down into it. But that's what in my mind I think of as a leading lady, is someone that just kind of took charge, was on her own, um, jumping into a role that's just made them shine, really just made them stick out. And that's what I think life is. Our life is, as women, is we're meant to be those leading ladies in our lives. We're meant to be that starlet in our own life, and really are meant to shine in all the things that we do. And we kind of dull that sparkle, I guess the best way to put it, a little bit, in the roles that we play, because we get so absorbed into them that we allow those roles to define who we are. And, oh, I'm just a mom, or, oh, I'm just an entrepreneur, like no big deal. I'm just in uh, I work for this company. It's no big deal. This is what I do for my job. Uh, I'm an event planner, so it's like kind of whatever. That's just what I do. I own my own business, whatever. Like no big deal. We don't allow ourselves to really feel into those roles. We kind of sink back into them and say, "Oh, I'm just a mom," and then let everybody kind of define what that looks like, or in your space, and letting it shape us and how we I feel like, in sometimes the way we act, the way we dress, the way we talk, the things we do, the things we choose to do, um, how we show up for our family, how we show up for a job, how we show up for communities that we're a part of, whether it's uh, like a church community or a city community, whatever that looks like. How we show up out into the world has been kind of, by whatever label we can slap on ourselves a little bit of, well, I'm just a mom, I'm just a chef, I'm the household manager, I'm the financial consultant if you do finances at your house, um, I'm the budget owner, i'm I just plan activities, whatever it is in your life that we do, that we just kind of get absorbed into them and don't really let ourselves shine in any of those. And sometimes the way that we want to shine is by saying yes to everything. In that, look, I can do all of these things, because it's not, it's saying that it's defining you, but you've got to still shine in that. I can do all of this. I never say no. I have the bandwidth for all of it. I have the spirit and the gumption to do all of it. And in the end, what happens? You end up being burnt out. overworked, stressed out, uh, just exhausted emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, all of it. You looking at something else when you sit on the couch is like if your brain turns back on for 1 second, it might explode out of your head. I have had many of those days. So I get being there in that point. But by stepping into your leading lady role and defining what those roles are to you and how those roles play out in your own life has been a huge, huge improvement in my life of flipping 100%, almost a 180 feels like into I'm much happier. I don't feel burnout anymore. I don't feel guilt of being a mom. I don't feel the mom guilt anymore. I don't feel that I'm failing so many places as I'm trying to grow and become this person. I found that by stepping into my own leading lady role, I found my identity as who I wanted to be as a woman and who I wanted to be as a mom. Back to Mulan, it's the analogy of Mulan is that she knew what society wanted her to be as a woman, and now she knew who she was as someone in the army, a trained warrior. That at the end, when she came back together, she could be both. She can do both. There's nothing wrong with her being both, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to be an individual in your life. I found freedom in motherhood, and it has been so eye-opening in that by finding that freedom, I've let so many things that I thought were important to me be able to go. I let other people's judgments go. You're going to get them from all over anyway. That it's kind of part of it. I've let people's judgments go about my parenting style. I've let people's judgments go about my outfits of the day. Um, you can't totally see my shirt, but it is a shirt that it says strong, empowered, resilient, confident, brave, radiant, and then woman on it. So it is all about being that leading lady. Did it on purpose because those are qualities that I want to have as a woman. Those are qualities I want to have as a mom. Those are qualities that I want to instill into my son and my daughter. That you can be all of these things. You can be so many things and it's okay to be both. It's okay to be a mom and it's okay to be a woman at the same time. And those roles do intertwine. They do change in on the day to day. I and you find I have found more excitement and joy in being that because I've also known that it's okay for me to step away. It's okay for me to take care of myself. It's okay to me for me to have that self-love and to talk to myself positively, to give myself the atta girls and the boost that you need. If you ever see me driving in the car and you see my mouth moving, it looks like I'm singing a song, but I'm definitely not singing a song. I am having a pep talk with myself. I have a lot of pep talks in the mirror occasionally, and or just as I'm walking around my house, give myself a lot of good pep talks. Uh, Make sure that I am taking care of me because if I don't take care of me, I can't fully show up and take care of my clients. I can't take care of my students. Can't take care of my family. I can't take care of my husband. I can't take care of anybody else because I am pouring from an empty cup. We've talked about that in a couple of episodes back as well of that you can't pour from an empty cup. If you're not full, what are you pouring from? You can't pour negative energy out into, right? If you're depleted and not getting filled back up yourself, you can't keep pouring more. That's when you start to feel the burnout. That's when you start to feel the overwhelm. It's when you start to feel everything kind of what I consider the weight of the world kind of crushing on your shoulders a little bit and making everything really heavy. So by stepping into this leading lady role, I've been able to find more excitement, finding more joy, taking care of myself. I'm able to show up for my family, extended family, my immediate family, anybody. I'm a much better and more present person because I am full. I can pour out my energy to you because I am full. And that's what is something that has really excited me, is that I found that by stepping into this space, that I am 100% more willing and able to give a lot of energy, to not be sucked into a lot of things. I'm more unplugged than I probably have been in a long time, in that knowing I'm not searching for excitement and joy on my phone. I'm creating it. I'm looking for it. I'm creating those memories. I'm genuinely excited and passionate about life in general. And with that, that comes along with that is I'm growing, I'm changing, right? It's we've talked about that earlier in the show, that we can own our story as it is right now. We know that we have the power to change the ending. The ending is not set in stone. We have the power to change the ending. And as humans, we have a curiosity that always wants us to grow and move forward. And by doing that, we're stepping into different lights. I found things that lit me up a lot more than what I thought lit me up. So I've been able to get rid of some of those. I've been able to find that motivation and that drive to keep going as an entrepreneur. An entrepreneurial journey is not the most glamorous for a while. It's a lot of nights. In my business, I've poured a lot of sweat, tears, blood, cups of caffeine, and energy into creating this business to what it is and growing it and learning. But by stepping into this leading lady role, I've been able to find the drive and the passion and the real motivation of why I started my business. My business is to help all women feel confident and comfortable in stepping into that leading lady role, shedding mom guilt, getting their freedom and motherhood, and becoming that leading lady in their life. That's my passion. That's my mission. And that is what fuels me on days I feel like it's not happening. There are days that I'm not okay, and then it's not okay. And that's fine. I've cried while writing emails before, cried while creating a website. I've had moments where I just couldn't even get off the floor. I was just so exhausted and so feeling that the burnout was real, in not only in my business but being a mom, of I don't know how to handle anything anymore, that I went past my patience limit. I went past my capacity to keep fighting the same battle, that it just felt like it was crushing me in that long run. And that is where, by stepping into this leading lady role, I have moved past that. I know when I'm going to hit my breaking point. I know when I'm good can say, okay, we're all taking a timeout from each other for a minute. Like, we're going to have individual play. We're going to be working on something together. We can be in the same room. We're just going to be doing two separate things, so that I don't feel that. I know how to combat when I feel like it's going to be the like that tipping point is so there, that I know how to combat those feelings of saying, I'm not feeling burnout. I'm not going into burnout. And I know when it's okay to step away. I've taken a good solid break, from social media, from my business, from emails, from everything that has to do with my business. And I only come back stronger every time I do it. That I come back with a fresh mind, fresh creativity, fresh topics that I want to talk about, fresh things that are new and exciting and moving us forward on this journey. And that has been an amazing thing that has happened every so often. Take about a week and just regroup in my own brain and what that looks like. So knowing that you can step into that leading lady role is not a lot of effort, and you can do it today. First step, just start owning your story. Own who you are. First step, own who you are. The second step is just starting to find and accept what you're missing, like find those things you're missing in maybe communities around you, and how you can create that community that you're looking for, or foster that community. Maybe you have that community around you and you just haven't found it yet. Find it. Go to that place that you're looking for that extra support. Find that place that is going to be one of those 5 people that are going to elevate you to the next level, elevate you up, lift you up, do all of that. And number 3, just start turning down your inner critic. Start turning down those soundtracks that we listen to on repeat all the time and start to change them. Start, if you can't say something fully confidently, just start to change it. Just change the wording here and there. And that maybe it's, this dress will never look good on me. Maybe I just need, instead of this dress, find a dress that is similar but will make you feel more confident in the person that you are. One of the things I say that makes you feel more confident every single day, put on an outfit that makes you feel just awesome or like you. Make you feel just who you are authentically. Taking those steps to step into your authentic self and to step into your life as the leading lady, your life will transform from a place where you feel like you're just stuck and overwhelmed into freedom and not feeling mom guilt and more guilt free than it has been in the long run. And in all of this, at the end of the day, stepping into the leading lady is what the world needs you to be. We all need to be the leading ladies of our lives because we're all trying to elevate each other to that next level and have that community that's always encouraging, never comparing for that. So as we close out today's episode, I'm really excited that you guys are here. I have a brand new course. This is where all the framework came from in my journey. It's called the Leading Lady Formula. If you are interested in jumping on to a quick 5-10 minute call just to find out more about the program itself, email me at mallory@beautifullyblooming.com. Get a hold of me at beautifullyblooming.com, or you can message me on Instagram. I also have a free community on Facebook that will be going live within the next week. If you have interest into that, let me know as well, in the same places you can find me. I'm so glad you guys are here. I hope you had some great lessons and some aha moments as stepping into your leading lady and being that woman that you want to be and that you've always wanted to be. So have a great rest of your week, and I will chat with you next time. You are listening to the Mindset Bloomcast with Mallory. I am your host, Mallory McGary. I am the CEO and founder of beautifullyblooming.com, and you are listening to the WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, radio, TV, and podcast, the #1 internet talk network. And I will see you guys later.